Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, July the 8th. We are here to look at the new releases that have been published this week. And on Tuesdays, we look at the darker side of mysteries. We're looking at crime fiction and thrillers. We do this every morning, Monday through Friday, a different genre every day. So we know what is out there so we can go out there and read them. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. We do sprints every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons for a total of 10 hours of your self-care time. Let's jump in to crime fiction and thrillers. Ruth Ware has a new one. It's actually second in a series featuring Lo Blacklock. It's a follow-up to the mega hit, The Woman in Cabin 10. This is called The Woman in Suite 11. When the invitation to attend the press opening of a luxury, shouldn't that be luxurious? Luxury Swiss hotel owned by reclusive billionaire Marcus Liedman arrives, it's like the answer to a prayer. 3 years after the birth of her youngest child, Lo Blacklock is ready to reestablish her journalism career, but post-pandemic travel journalism is a very different landscape from the one she left 10 years ago. The chateau on the shores of Lake Geneva is everything Lo's ever dreamed of, and she hopes she can snag an interview with Marcus. Unfortunately, he proves to be even more difficult to pin down than his reputation suggests. When Lo gets a late-night call asking her to come to Marcus's hotel room, she agrees despite her own misgivings. She's greeted, however, by a woman claiming to be Marcus's mistress and an in-life-or-death jeopardy. What follows is a thrilling cat-and-mouse pursuit across Europe, forcing Lo to ask herself just how much she's willing to sacrifice to save this woman, and if she can even trust her. I'm a bad person, I'd say. Sorry. Ellie Griffith has a new one in a new series. I love her, the archaeology one that she does. She has another series that I've not gotten into. Good morning, Mary. Happy Tuesday. It's supposed to be 99 today. Yeah, here too. Here too. Don't like it. I mentioned I don't like summer. So this is called The Frozen People, first in the Allie Dawson mysteries. Some murders can't be solved in just one lifetime. Allie Dawson and her cold case team investigate crimes so old they're frozen. You know, I love cold cases. Or so their inside joke goes. Nobody knows that her team has a secret. They can travel back in time to look for evidence. Okay. The latest incitement sees Allie venture back further than they have dared before, to 1850s London to clear the name of Kane Templeton, an eccentric patron of the arts. Rumor has it that Kane is part of a sinister group called the Collectors. Allie arrives in the Victorian area to another dead woman at her feet and far too many unanswered questions. As the clock counts down, Allie becomes more entangled in the mystery, yet danger lurks around every corner. She soon finds herself trapped, unable to make her way back to her beloved son Finn, who is battling his own accusations in the present day. Could the two cases be connected? Yes. In a race through and against time, Allie must find out before it's too late. I like the author, love cold cases, love time travel. I should read this, but do I want to? I don't know. And I'm not slumping, but I'm also not knowing what I want to read now. I'm finishing up a fantasy reread. I don't know, but I'm open to things. Good morning, Elena. Are you feeling better? Mary, like both Griffiths and Ware as authors, books are looking up. I don't like summer either. Especially down south, honey. Oof. Mary says hi to Elena. And Elena says good morning back to Mary. Mary says, are you feeling better, Elena? I hope so. And she says, 20 more days till my birthday. You know what? I remembered that. And Elena, I'm feeling a lot better. Oh, good, 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 good. Thanks for asking. You are welcome. We care about you, sweetie. All right, next up, Stay Away from Him by Andrew DeYoung. On the evening she met exonerated murderer Thomas Danver, Melissa Burke let him help her put her 5-year-old son to bed before coming back upstairs to enjoy the dinner party. Thomas was so nice and a pediatrician. She didn't know anything then about his wife's suspicious death. Relocating with her 5-year-old son to a new city after an ugly divorce, Melissa Burke isn't looking for a new relationship right away, only distance from her ex and space to rest and heal from the emotional scars of a broken marriage. But an unexpected relationship is exactly what she finds at a friend's dinner party when she meets Thomas Danver, a charming widower who asks for her number at the end of the night. Intrigued, Melissa learns from her neighbors that Thomas is a dedicated father of 2 girls, one of the most respected pediatricians in the city, and an exonerated murderer. Thomas, see, hard line, no. Thomas's first wife went missing 3 years ago, presumed dead, and Thomas was eventually cleared of her murder in an investigation that became a local media sensation. But while some still believe he killed his wife, Melissa's friends insist that he was unfairly targeted by the police and couldn't hurt a fly. Attracted to Thomas and also fascinated by the case, Melissa agrees to one date and finds herself quickly swept into an obsessive whirlwind romance. But when Melissa receives a chilling anonymous threat, or perhaps it's a warning, she begins to question how much she truly knows about the man she's falling in love with. Is he really innocent? Well, they're building it up that he's guilty, so I'm sure he's probably innocent. The Spectacle by Anna Barrington. A powerful art dealer who presents convincing portrait of international success pulls an idealistic young gallery assistant into his web of lies. Nobody knows quite who Rudolph Sullivan is or how he ascended so quickly to the glittering top of New York's art scene. When aspiring artist and struggling gallery assistant Ingrid meets the charismatic dealer at a party, she falls fast. Don't go to parties. Rudolph offers her a seductive taste of luxury and an escape from her humdrum existence. But Rudolph is hiding much more than his dazzling facade lets on. With insatiable tastes and a need to keep up appearances, his debts mount rapidly, and he turns to double dealing to stay afloat. As his adversaries close in, Rudolph realizes his fall from grace could cost him more than his reputation. Panicking, paranoid, and willing to sacrifice anyone to maintain his precarious foothold, he plans his most audacious gambit yet, and Ingrid is at the center of it. See, these last 2. Don't go to parties. End of row 1. And then it says her birthday is July 30th. All right. Our Last Resort by Clemence Mechalion. Clemence. There's a little on it. Mechalion. Innocence doesn't bail you out. It just makes you easier to trap. Rita and Gabriel arrive seeking a fresh start at the stunning Ara Hotel in the secluded desert of Escalante, Utah. Once so close they were able to finish each other's sentences, they've grown apart in recent years after a sudden, unspeakable tragedy. Now at the Lux Resort, they are ready to reconnect between dips in the pool and hikes on spectacular desert trails. It all feels like paradise until the dead body of a beautiful young woman who was vacationing at the Ara with her powerful, much older husband is discovered. When the local police arrive and suspicion quickly falls on Gabriel, Frida is forced to revisit memories from the upbringing in a cloistered cult in upstate New York, their dramatic escape, and the scandal that followed. Frida's belief in Gabriel's innocence never wavered at the time, but now even she can't ignore the evidence mounting against him. Alternating between past and present timelines, this book builds toward a shattering climax that uncovers the fate of the murdered Ara guest and poses the question, how well do we ever really know those we love? The Mythmaker by Ali Dumas Hyde. Someone is killing women and staging their bodies in strange evocative scenes in this Greek mythology-inspired serial killer thriller. Cassidy Cantwell has devoted her life to becoming a detective, never forgetting the cold case that has influenced her entire career, the unsolved murder of her best friend. Cassidy tries to balance her demanding job with her suffocatingly close-knit family and her increasingly clingy boyfriend. But when a strange new murder case comes across her desk, she's determined to solve it, especially when it turns out the victim was the wife of her college ex-boyfriend. While Cassidy's partner Brian works to prove that her ex is their suspect, Cassidy can't shake the feeling that there's something more to the case that they're not seeing. After the medical examiner finds a strange ring among the victim's personal effects that the husband insists didn't belong to his wife, Cassidy is struck by similarly odd details from a previous crime scene, details that seem to have an uncanny connection to a Greek myth. When another body attracts public attention and the FBI joins the hunt, the case gets increasingly complicated, and solving it seems further and further out of reach. With anonymous taunts about her best friend's death dragging her attention away, Cassidy finds herself pulled in different directions: sacrifice her personal life for the sake of her career, or put everything she has into finding years-old answers to a case that haunts her still, and the killer behind the murders isn't done yet. Night Watcher by Daphne Woolsencroft. Nola Strait is being watched again. After an encounter with a notorious serial killer in the Pacific Northwest as a child, Nola has grown up and tried her best to forget her traumatizing night with the hiding man. She installed security cameras outside her Oregon home, never spoke of her experience, and now hosts Night Watch, a popular radio call-in show her semi-famous father used to run. When coincidences lead Nola to believe that she is being stalked, and a caller on Night Watch has a live incident with an intruder in the caller's home, the description of whom is chillingly familiar, Nola is convinced that the hiding man has resurfaced and is coming for her. With a mysterious next-door neighbor lurking in the shadows, more people getting hurt, the police not taking her concerns seriously, and evidence pointing towards her own father, Nola decides to become, like her listeners, a night watcher herself, and uncover the monster behind the hiding man's mask. The Silver State by Gabriel Urza. When a public defender receives a letter from a client on death row, he is forced to re-examine his role in the murder case he cannot shake. What if justice isn't something the legal system is truly capable of? Law school graduate Santi Elcano's idealism is wearing away by the cases and the clients he's assigned. When a young mother, Anna Weston, is brutally murdered and her body is found near Reno's infamous silver mines, Santi and his mentor in the public defender's office, CJ, are tasked with defending Michael Atwood, a man arrested for Anna's murder on scant physical evidence. 8 years later, a shocking letter from Atwood, now on death row, forces Santi to re-examine his role in the case. At the time, public obsession with Anna's disappearance and intense pressure on the police to make an arrest led to a rushed trial. As they investigated the case, Santi and CJ became increasingly convinced they were defending an innocent man. Now, a horrific discovery leads Santi to reconsider everything he once believed and all that it has cost him: love, family, and friendship. Illuminating the deals that get cut in the name of justice, The Silver State explores the murkiness between victim and perpetrator and the cost of a life in the law. Turning the legal thriller on its head, Urza tells an electrifying, emotionally charged tale of systemic failure and moral ambiguity that asks, what if justice isn't something the legal system is truly capable of? End of that row. Welcome to Cottonmouth by J.S. Bell. A collection of broken spies, former double agents, and retired operators lives in secrecy under the watchful eye of the government in the small deep woods town of Cottonmouth, Texas. Devlin Mahoney is the de facto mayor of these special citizens, charged with keeping them in seclusion, hidden from the world, which he does from the office of the town's only motel. But the peace of the sleepy village is shattered when a pair of women on the run from a vicious criminal drops into Mahoney's lap, and he's forced to choose between doing what's right and doing what he's told. I bet he does what's right. All We Trust by Gregory Galloway. Peck and Al have a good thing going. The two brothers own a bar and a hardware store and make a comfortable living. They also launder money for a criminal organization. Everything is perfectly fine until Peck begins to suspect that his brother is going to betray him to the local district attorney. Things get even more complicated between them when Al's hard drive with millions of dollars in crypto goes missing, and Peck was the only other person with access. What starts out as a family squabble turns into an international battle between competing crime organizations, moving from small-town New England to San Francisco to Mexico. Along the way, the brothers encounter betrayal, double-dealing, kidnapping, and ultimately, revenge. Mary says, going meeting later this morning. Nice. Going to start a Russian spiral for a pendant I have. Have made many spirals, but it's been a while, so it may be very rusty. Oh, how fun. Whoop. I have to keep doing that. Culpability by Bruce Holzinger. When the Cassidy Shaw's autonomous minivan collides with an oncoming car, 17-year-old Charlie is in the driver's seat with his father Noah riding shotgun. In the backseat, tweens Alice and Izzy are on their phones while their mother Lorelei, a world leader in the field of artificial intelligence, is absorbed in her work. Yet each family member harbors a secret that implicates them in the accident. During a week-long recuperation on the Chesapeake Bay, the family confronts the excruciating moral dilemmas triggered by the crash. Noah decides to hold the family together as a seemingly routine police investigation jeopardizes Charlie's future. Alice and Izzy turn strangely furtive, and Lorelei's odd behavior tugs at Noah's suspicions that there is a darker truth behind the incident. Suspicions heightened by the sudden intrusion of Daniel Monet, a tech mogul whose mysterious history with Lorelei hints at betrayal. When Charlie falls for Monet's teenage daughter, the stakes are raised even higher in this propulsive family drama that is also a fascinating exploration of the moral responsibility and ethical consequences of AI. Which makes me wonder, are they saying this is not real? I don't know. Dark Shadows Looming Ahead by Marion Kumaro, second in Escaping the Reich series. She fought for gold, now she fights for her life. Olympic champion Judith Rosner once had the world at her feet, but after Austria's annexation by Nazi Germany, her victories no longer matter. Only the fact that she is Jewish. Friends turn away, the Gestapo is closing in, and survival becomes her only goal. Hiding with a fearless woman who risks everything to protect the persecuted, Judith meets Klaus, a German deserter with nowhere left to run. But when the SS arrests their protector, the two must make a desperate escape. Their only hope, Switzerland, just across the treacherous waters of Lake Constance. But with patrol boats on the prowl and strict regulations on rowboats, the journey is nearly impossible. Will they find freedom, or will the lake claim them forever? End of that row. Oh, we've got 7 left. We will not make it. We might not make it. Martyr's Convent by Jodie Brett Kelly, second in the Isla Joyson series. In London, journalist Isla Joyson races against time to find a connection between a drowned nun, a sinister convent, and a manipulative aristocrat. One call changes everything. When Isla Joyson receives a desperate call from a nun about an impending drug shipment, she sees a chance to break the story of the year. The sister insists she can't go to the police and begs for Isla's help. Then the line is cut. The next day, the nun's body is pulled from the Thames River. Pursuing both justice and the story, Isla's investigation leads into the cloistered order harboring dark secrets to the highest echelons of British society. When Isla crosses paths with a powerful duke intent on solving this murder without her, the stakes escalate, threatening to destroy both her career and her relationship with the man she loves. Linda Castillo has a new one in her Amish-adjacent series. Book 17 in the Kate Burkholder series. This is called Rage. Summer has arrived with a vengeance in Painter's Mill, and a macabre discovery by 3 Amish children brings the quiet to a grinding halt. Chief of Police Kate Burkholder arrives on scene to find the dismembered body of a 21-year-old Samuel Yutzi, a local Amish man who owned a successful landscaping business. What twisted individual murdered him in such a sadistic way? The investigation has barely begun when miles away a second body is found, stuffed into a barrel and dumped in a ravine. The deceased is a 21-year-old Aaron Shetler, Samuel Yutzie's best friend. What could these two young Amishmen have been involved in that led to such violent ends? With a heat wave bearing down, Kate learns quickly that for reasons she doesn't understand, no one is willing to talk about what happened to the men. Just as she begins to fear the case may be hopeless, a mystery woman comes forward and reveals that fun-loving Aaron and Samuel had recently befriended some very unsavory characters, individuals who may have ties to larger, more sinister black market. To solve the case, Kate must delve into the most sordid corners of her community, but when she gets too close, the killers target Kate herself. Will the secret simmering beneath the surface of Painter's Mill take another life before she can expose the truth? Or will Kate be the final victim? We have time for one more. Remote, the Five, second in a series, by Eric Rickstad. How do you catch a killer who can see your every move? The tableau killer, known as Q, has escaped custody, trained since childhood by an enigmatic drinking game group called Stargazer. Q is a remote viewer, able to see what is distant, what is hidden, in real time, anywhere in the world, including the two men who caught him the first time, FBI agent Lucas Stark and fellow remote viewer Gilles Garnier. Q thirsts for revenge and will stop at nothing to expose the secret organization who made him the monster he is. Luring some of the other original 6 remote viewers to his cause, they kidnap a Stargazer researcher and his family, leaving a trail of grisly murders in their wake. But how many must Q kill to be satiated? As Stark, Garnier, and new agent Jayla King hunt Q across the country and try to rescue the hostages, they learn this case is beyond anything they or the FBI have ever seen, and Stargazer itself is far more dangerous than the killer the nefarious organization created. All right, everybody remember that we ended on the 5. We'll do the rest of these probably on Friday with the rest of the cozy mysteries. We have 4 left. Okie dokie. That is it for today. Mary says, I like that series by Castillo. We'll have to see if our library has it. Yeah, I read the first one a couple of years ago. Mary says, I hear the bells. Yes, indeed. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. Stay safe and cool. You too. Enjoy your beating. I would love to see what you're doing if you want to share it on Facebook. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Again, tonight I do have sprints at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. As Mary mentioned, please be cool. It is hot summer out there. Be hydrated. If you're outside, wear sunscreen, though I don't know if I actually believe in sunscreen, but at least, wear a hat or something. Read good books. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good day. God bless.